The elder Draconi had not seen the stars in 3 centuries. His name was Vextheron, and he was dying, not from age, for his kind lived millennia, but from the creeping darkness that had consumed his eyes. The crystalline membranes that allowed his species to perceive across 17 spectrums had clouded over, leaving him trapped in an endless void. His granddaughter, Siricon, had exhausted every remedy known to their civilization. The greatest physicians of the Draconi hegemony had declared the condition irreversible. It was a genetic decay, they said, the price of their evolution from mere reptilian creatures to the star-faring empire that now controlled 47 systems. But Siricon refused to accept defeat. Her search had led her to the most unlikely of places, Earth, a backwater planet on the fringes of explored space, inhabited by a species barely past their first interstellar ventures. The humans were considered primitive by galactic standards, their technology crude, their lifespans laughably short, their bodies fragile and weak. Yet they possessed something unique, an obsession with healing. Siricon had landed her small craft in a clearing outside what the humans called Portland, Oregon. The locals had scattered in terror at first. But one elderly human, a woman named Dr. Sarah Chen, had approached with nothing but curiosity in her eyes and a medical bag in her hands. Through the universal translator, Siricon had explained her grandfather's condition. Dr. Chen had listened, asked questions, and then done something that surprised the young Draconi. She laughed. "Cataracts," the human had said, shaking her head. "Your grandfather has cataracts. We've been curing those for centuries." The solution had been absurdly simple: eye drops, a solution of N-acetylcarnosine that the humans had developed for their own aging population. Dr. Chen had given Siricon 6 bottles, refusing any payment, and had written detailed instructions in both English and the phonetic Draconi script she'd learned from the translator. "Tell your grandfather that Sarah Chen says hello," the old woman had said with a smile, "and tell him that getting old is hard for everyone, but we don't have to go blind doing it." 3 weeks later, in the grand chamber of Vextheron's estate on Draconis Prime, Siricon administered the final dose. The improvement had been gradual but unmistakable. First shapes, then colors, and now, as the elder Draconi opened his eyes fully for the first time in 300 years, he saw his granddaughter's face with perfect clarity. Vextheron wept, his massive form shaking with emotion, but his tears were not merely from joy, they were from shame. "What have we done?" he whispered, his voice resonating through the chamber like distant thunder. Siricon didn't understand. "Grandfather, you can see, the human medicine worked." "Yes, child, and that is precisely the problem." Vextheron rose to his full height, his wings unfurling, their scales gleaming in the light he could now perceive. "Summon the Council of Flames, immediately." Within hours, the highest authority of the Draconi hegemony had assembled. Vextheron stood before them, his newly restored vision allowing him to see their confusion, their impatience at being summoned so urgently. 300 years ago I went blind," he began. "Our finest minds declared me incurable. I accepted my fate because I trusted in our superiority, in the certainty that if we could not cure something, it could not be cured." He paused, letting his words sink in. "My granddaughter traveled to Earth. A human, a single elderly human physician, cured me in 3 weeks with medicine so common among their kind that she gave it away freely. She asked for nothing in return except that I be told getting old is hard for everyone." The council chamber erupted in discussion. Some members dismissed it as a fluke, others as an insult, but Vextheron's voice cut through the noise like a blade. "We have been fools. We dismissed humanity because they are young, because they are weak, because they die so quickly that we assumed they could never achieve anything of worth." His eyes blazed with intensity, but in their brief lifespans they have developed an instinct for survival and healing that we, in our arrogance, never cultivated. They cure diseases we consider incurable. They repair what we consider irreparable. They refuse to accept death as inevitable. He spread his wings wide, a gesture of challenge among his people. "I propose we do something unprecedented. I propose we ask humanity for help." The debate that followed lasted 17 hours. But Vextheron was the most respected elder in living memory, and his testimony carried weight. The vote passed by a narrow margin. 4 days after Vextheron regained his sight, 13,000 Draconi vessels appeared in Earth's orbit. Every human military installation went on high alert. News networks erupted with panic. World leaders convened emergency sessions. Humanity prepared for the worst. But the Draconi sent a single message broadcast across every frequency, in every human language. People of Earth, we are the Draconi hegemony. We have conquered worlds, commanded fleets, and built an empire spanning 47 systems. But we have forgotten how to heal. We come not as conquerors, but as students. We offer our technology, our protection, and our friendship in exchange for your knowledge of medicine, of compassion, and of refusing to accept that any problem is truly unsolvable. An elderly physician named Sarah Chen showed us that wisdom is not measured in years, but in the willingness to help those who suffer. We wish to learn from you. Will you teach us? In Portland, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the broadcast on her tablet while watering her garden. She smiled, set down her watering can, and called her colleagues at the hospital. I think we're going to need a bigger clinic, she said. And thus began the most unlikely alliance in galactic history. Not forged through war or conquest, but through 6 bottles of eye drops and an old woman's kindness. Humanity had always been good at one thing above all others: surviving against impossible odds by refusing to give up. Now the galaxy would learn what humans had always known. Sometimes the strongest weapon is the will to heal.